Welcome to High History, the show where we get lifted while digging deep into the past. This isn't your high school textbook history. No dusty dates, no boring lectures. We're talking the wild, the weird, and the what the hell really happened moments that shaped our world.
From revolutions to renaissance, from ancient queens to unsung geniuses, we bring you the stories that matter with a twist of comedy, culture, and community. So spark your curiosity and maybe something else. Lean back and let's get into some high history.
Welcome to High History, friends. My name is Danny, your reefer ref, back in red and yellow, which I do have to say, though, stands for the cards, because we haven't talked about that yet. No, when you're on a red foul versus yellow about to get kicked out. So trying to keep us in the game here to be a little bit more fair to the world around us. But Danny, your reefer ref, sorry, side note.
No, thank you for that context, Danny. My name is Mo. I am the timekeeper, first of her name, keeping us on track and in the flow.
Someone's got to hurt us.
And I'm Nick, your lady librarian, the flame and the fact checker.
We have used you quite frequently in some episodes. So very excited to continue that trend. Today, I want to talk a little bit about some Bostonian history in the US of A and how it led to standards, which interestingly enough,
you have those?
I mean, sometimes they come late and at the hands of lives, unfortunately. So we're going to talk about that. But yes, standards.
I love standards, really.
Okay, so we are in 1915 in Boston. So right around the peak industrial revolution, like all the factories are booming and all of the people are working and all these immigrants are coming in from all over the world. Primarily in this time is you're seeing a lot of Italian immigrants, you're seeing a lot of Irish immigrants, right?
Right.
And this kind of leads into the gangs of New York. Have you seen that?
I have not seen it, but I've heard of it.
That, interestingly, is one of the reasons that the Civil War was triggered, not so much as about slavery, but as the treatment of workers in general across the entire country. Yeah. Yeah, but it started a lot with the Irish and the Italian immigrants. So we're in northern Boston. It's primarily an immigrant community right on the harbor where they park not the car.
The harbor.
Have you seen that? Yeah, that commercial with John Krasinski.
No, I haven't seen it.
Park the car. So the Smart Park, that's what it was with Chris Evans. Smart Park. The car that parks itself.
I got it.
All right, so we're in Boston, right at the harbor, and 1915 is kind of during early prohibition laws being made. So the U.S. is really starting to figure out, are we going to prohibit alcohol or are we not, right? And so they're really worried about this amendment coming forth. And so USIA is the United States Industrialization of America. Wait, I don't think I said that right. I'll get it to it later. But USIA is this primary company that does a lot of manufacturing of things like raw materials like cane sugar and molasses, and then they manufacture it into like the ethanol for alcohol or into what's needed for ammunitions and bombs so that you can rearm America. So they were really big into raw manufacturing, and they had just figured out how to secure this little plot of a harbor in Boston. And they're like, let us build a giant tube to store molasses, because that we can get imported from Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, all of the Caribbean areas, and use it to manufacture our ethanol, which then manufactures alcohol and weapons.
Right.
Because weapons are the most important.
They make the money.
That is how you make money. I mean, one country, yeah.
I know.
Wars are expensive, but they're also profitable.
That is how you build countries out of a slump, for sure. History tells us time and again.
Absolutely.
So the USIA got this spot and they're like, okay, we are going to build this giant vat for molasses. So we are going to assign you, Mr. Treasurer Arthur P. Gell, who has no architecture experience, has no building experience, doesn't really manage projects.
You said he was a treasurer, so he works with money?
Yeah. He's the treasurer of USIA.
Oh, this sounds like a brilliant plan.
Brilliant. Very.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Uh,
I love that you're like, he has absolutely no experience.
Just great plan. What could go wrong?
I mean, I literally, so when I researched Arthur P. Gell, every article that refers to him or every history.com that refers to him says he had absolutely no experience in architecture. Like, it was so adamant. But then you go back to the trial notes from the USIA trial. And when they asked him, do you have any expertise in architecture and engineering? And he's like, no technical expertise. So, I mean, on the stand, he admitted, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Oh my gosh.
And history wants you to firmly remember. Absolutely had no experience.
He did not know what he
Arthur
was
P.
doing.
Gell.
Arthur P. Gell, yeah. So he was the treasury guy, and they're like, hey, go build this giant vat for our molasses storage. And so he goes and they build it, and it's, gosh, how big was it? I'll have to go look at it, but it was like 90 feet high by like 45 feet wide. It held like almost 3 million gallons of molasses, which
That's
is
a
the
lot of
equivalent of a U.S. Olympic-sized swimming pool is like 300,000 gallons. So we're talking like almost 3 Olympic pools worth of molasses.
That's crazy.
In this vat.
That's heavy.
It
Also-
does seem like heavy, right?
Yeah.
It's heavy because molasses is a non-Newtonian fluid. Do you know what that is?
No. What does that
Viscous.
mean?
Yeah, the
Viscous states.
the viscosity, viscousness. I feel like all
Yeah.
those are words. All of that changes depending on the temperature and the pressure around the actual material. So the colder it is, the more
Dense.
dense and hard and firm it is, and the warmer it is, the more fluid it is.
It's like volcanoes have some.
Yeah, like
volcanoes-
lava.
some volcanoes have, lava has
Lava.
viscosity sometimes. Yeah. Anyway,
Toothpaste,
digress.
also a non-Newtonian fluid. Fun fact.
all right. I digress.
Yeah. No. Syrup, also a non-Newtonian fluid. Honey.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
mean, we're just going on a rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
Okay. So he is like, build this tank for us. And they
Yeah,
bring in this
sweet.
ironworks group, because you know how they bid out the contracts, and they bring in this ironworks group, and ironworks group gives a proposal, and Arthur looks at it and he's like, this looks good to me. So they start building it.
Treasury.
Not him just like saying this looks good to
Yeah.
him. Everything that he's just saying, and it's so simple, right? But
Yeah.
it's like knowing the context
Yeah.
and knowing that he has no idea what he's doing.
Well, he saw how much it was going to cost. And he was also given his superiors, again, there's 2 class systems that have built this country. There are the people that manage the capital and the laborers that support the capital for those people. And the people in charge of Arthur P. Gell, were the people that managed the capital, said, build this tank by this date with this much money. And he said, please, sir, may I have another? And he did it.
Okay.
He said, we gonna figure this out, okay?
Yeah. And he did. And he got it under. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't built properly. In fact, the ironworks company didn't have anyone overseeing the work, didn't have anyone overseeing safety. Also, keep in mind, OSHA didn't exist at this time. So the OSHA standards, safety's hazardous organizations.
Yeah. Which Colorado doesn't have, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. There are some companies in Colorado that are OSHA compliant, but
Yeah.
as a state, we are not mandated
Right.
to follow OSHA. Yeah. Interesting when
Fun
you think about the Ludlow massacres.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so didn't have anyone overseeing the building of it. And surprise, surprise, they use shoddy materials, the manganese that typically hardens steel so that it can withstand temperature fluctuations and then pressure from like expansion of non-Newtonian fluids. They didn't add any of that. They used less rivets to keep steel plates that cover together. So overall, not a great build. And then they also, surprise, surprise, skipped all safety testing with the exception of they did pour 6 inches of water in to say, see, it doesn't leak.
Are you exaggerating?
No.
I'm quiet because I can't believe it.
Yeah. So they said they couldn't find enough water to fill up the vat in time to test it. They also said that they
why did they make time?
They couldn't though, because the shipment of molasses was already inbound and was going to be in the harbor in a few days, so it had to be unloaded. Because I mean, they cut this deadline quick. Arthur P. Judd was on time. He was probably a really good treasurer, not a great engineer.
Probably.
Yeah.
He didn't stay in his lane.
Yeah. So they were like, well, the only thing that we have the ability to do is like, here, let's just a couple of buckets in there, 6 inches of water, and we'll call her good.
Yeah, I can see how this went badly.
I mean, we're just getting into it though.
Oh, lay it on us.
And if you think about it, 6 inches is a pretty common method of measurement for a lot of things.
For whom?
Yeah, but for that much molasses, it just isn't, to me, scientifically sound. Like, it just doesn't make any kind of sense to me.
Yeah, that tank is meant to hold 2 to 3 million gallons.
Exactly.
Yeah, 3
so what is
Olympic
that?
swimming pools stacked on each other.
Splash in a puddle.
Killing it, 6 inches. All right.
So they were like, all right, we have passed. It's built. Hurrah! Put in the molasses. So they put in some molasses. And throughout the years, they utilize it. It does get filled and then it gets emptied as it's taken to be manufactured down the street. In the years between 1915 and 1919, it actually only got filled to capacity 4 times, and it wasn't at full capacity. But only 4 times ever was it put to the test of what it truly was capable of doing.
Right.
Throughout those 4 years, the residents of the northern Boston neighborhood right around the harbor, there was one specific building of where immigrants primarily lived, Italian immigrants. They noticed that it would make weird noises all the time. And that brown liquid would be oozing out so much so that kids would go with buckets and put them underneath or take sticks and just scoop up all of the molasses and they eat like that was the OG lollipop.
That's wild.
That is so crazy. I keep saying crazy because it is to me. I'm not using that word loosely.
So they hired people to look after the security of the container because they didn't want all these kids stealing all the molasses, so they would shoo the kids away, which is an important detail for later too. But so it was leaking constantly and making noises constantly over the 4 years, right?
Honestly, terrifying.
So what does USAID do? They don't reinforce any of the steel. They don't test anything. They paint it brown.
Let's just hide this real quick. It'll be all right. Nobody needs to know. It's fine.
Just brush it under the rug. What's the worst that could happen?
Like you can't see it or smell it or...
Meanwhile, these kids are still getting their lollipops.
Right?
I mean, in between being chased out from the overseer person. It's also wild to me that they called people overseers. So lordly. that feudal system. This is originally the peasants. We're the peasants. They just upgraded their language. Okay, so Boston gets cold in the winter and it gets to like below 0, right? And then there are some nice days that get higher than freezing into the 40s. And it just so happened that in January 15th, a few days prior, it was really, really cold. It had a cold snap. And then on January 15th, it was like 40 degrees and people were out and it was all sunshiny. They had just gotten a shipment of molasses that put it at the max capacity, the 5th time it's ever been at max capacity. They had just put that shipment in. And you could see there were 2 little kids underneath trying to go get their lollipop for the day and fill up their bucket for food because it was the only sugar they could afford at the time. Mm-hmm. And then you can read these testimonies because it's part of the court transcriptions now. But of people saying, I was sleeping or I was doing this, and all of a sudden there was this rumbling and then an explosion. And then screaming.
A
and
flavor.
That exploded.
Oh my
The
goodness.
entire container exploded with so much force that it sent a 35-foot wave of molasses, 25-foot wave of molasses going 35 miles an hour at people. 2, it was so powerful. Keep in mind, it had the metal around the outside. So it shot that metal into buildings and it quite literally pushed entire buildings off of foundations. Like it was an explosion. So pushed like the firehouse over, which was next door, completely demolished all these buildings around it, including where people were living.
That's crazy.
I'm guessing those 2 little kids did not make it out of that.
2 little kids.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
2 little kids did not make it. And also so it's coming. It's a giant freaking wave. It's 25 feet tall. That's like, 3 stories at this time? 4 stories?
Yeah.
Of buildings. And it's coming. How many of us can run at 35 miles an hour?
Not even a single.
Very few of us can do that.
And it's not water where you're going to get swept up in it. It is sticky, tar-like fluid. And so the second I'm picturing people like in the Never Ending Story pulling Artreo out. Like, you know how many horses that were just stuck in that?
Poor baby.
And people, Artreo!
And they're just freaking out because they don't know what the hell's going on. They're just like, this stuff is stuck to me. I can't move.
It's
That just
slow
means,
death.
oh my gosh.
The witness accounts, everything. Animals, dogs, cats, horses. People were saying it felt like I had just woken up in an ocean, except for I couldn't swim.
Oh gosh.
That's so
sad.
That's so sad.
And you look at the pictures, it's wild. But people got trapped under parts of buildings because buildings exploded right next to it. And that wave went for blocks because it's downhill.
Yeah.
And because it finally got colder throughout the day, because it was warmer when it exploded, and it exploded at like noon in the midday. And so it's January, it's winter, still short days. So the sun's setting around 5 o'clock. 4 hours later, they were still trying to rescue people that were quite literally like frozen in almost amber, like mosquitoes that they did for Jurassic Park.
This is why in every document you read about Arthur P. Gell that it said he had absolutely
no technical
experience.
Absolutely none. That's absolute.
That's why in every document, that's where you find that.
Yeah. And so the firehouse, there were a few people that were just not in the firehouse, but nearby, that were able to jump in and start rescuing. A local ship had to jump in to start rescuing, but they were trying to pull people out before they froze because, again, it froze. The colder it got, the more solid the molasses was getting. They weren't able to unbury people. They weren't able to get to them. And if there were things trapped on top, it's frozen in the molasses.
Yeah.
So they're chiseling people to get, hammering to get people out of these frozen sugar blocks. And at the end of the day, they're untold animals. They didn't even list how many horses, dogs, and cats and things died. Over 150 people were injured. And they had 21 people died, including the 2 10-year-olds. And in the settlement at the end, the USIA argued that those kids were trespassing, so they didn't actually give any settlement money to the family for the kids.
Wow, that's fucked up.
It's
That's not even the
so
worst of
fucked
it.
up. It's so fucked up. Oh my gosh. Wow.
It gets better.
Or worse.
Come on now.
So they went weeks and
on
weeks
now.
trying to clean this up, so much so that you could see stickiness in almost every part of Boston. It spread throughout everywhere. It took months to get the sticky tar-like substance off of the streets, off of trolleys, out of restaurants nearby. They had to use ocean water that they had to pump in to clean everything off and unbury people. And they didn't actually find the full death toll until they finished cleaning months later, because people had been swept out into the harbor.
Oh gosh.
So after all of this, there was public outrage, and USIA went and said, hey, it was a bomb. A bomb exploded, and it was anarchists, because at that time in pre-1920, there were a lot of anarchists that were targeting the U.S. munition building depots, anywhere there was a focus on manufacturing war equipment, essentially. So anarchists were targeting places, and so the USIA was like, we build munitions from this sugar, and this is what happened with somebody put a bomb in there. And that's what they argued to the public. And it wasn't until 120 people started filing lawsuits that they were able to kind of loop them into one multi-pass, a class action lawsuit. Multi-pass.
Oh no. Did she freeze?
Through 2 years of trial. Hundreds of witnesses, like 900 different witnesses. And at the end, they found that it was a combination of the negligence on the safety and the build. And because they knew that the tank was leaking, they had years, like 4 years of complaints from the neighborhoods, from the people working on it. They had whistleblowers from the inside saying, hey, this wasn't built to spec. So they knew all of that. All of this came out in court, and they ended up settling for like $680,000 for all of the families. And they gave out based on who they thought had the most amount of suffering, which was interesting because people that died their families got less than the people that were injured.
That's interesting. Who got to work that out?
The courts and the lawyers.
That's really messed up.
But this did, after further investigation, prompt the country to say, how come we don't have safety standards when we build things? How come we don't have a technical expert sign off on things that could, I don't know, impact the general safety of our general population? And so this started the U.S. toward a direction of standards and engineering certifications and architecture certifications. So now you can't just build things without being certified and knowing that you can produce some solid work.
Well, at least something good came out of it. Jeez.
I mean, people died.
I know. That's why I'm like, it's still a very horrible. Like, I mean, if you live through something like that, that's what, like, it's deeply embedded trauma.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that is such a freak of nature event. It's not even a freak of nature. It's like a man-made
Negligence.
horrible event. Yeah. And
They talk about that. Some of the survivors talked about it in the transcripts of the court, because, I mean, again, it went on for years. They talk about how they just can't get through the trauma of it. I mean, you watching people frozen in front of you, struggling for air.
That's insane.
Yeah. That would just be that's way too intense. That's way too much. Like, that's way too much. Like, I just thinking about it, like imagining it, and then seeing something like that happen in front of you. It's like it would be like a horror movie.
Yeah.
You know? Because who would ever think about something like that? Like, that just sounds something that's made up. You're just frozen to death in front, like, by molasses, people in front of you. Like that happened.
It's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up. Is it
Yeah.
still there? That plant? Is it still there?
No, they tore it down and they put a baseball field over it.
Like
But
where the
there's-
Red Sox play?
No, it's like a local team, I think, but they have a plaque that talks about the Boston Molasses Flood.
That's wild.
Yeah, but I think it's just important to see, like, it takes a great amount of effort to shift progress towards the safety and value of humans over capitalism, over extraction. And so I think that's where I would like to start to change the conversation of how do we start to bring up the fact that human life has value and safety needs to be a priority, not a afterthought after many people die.
Yeah. People need to stop dying to prove a point.
Yeah.
But also, I just don't know if we as humans will ever get that. I feel like something has to happen in order to really prompt, because we can talk about it, but it doesn't become real until something happens.
Right.
And we're seeing that with climate change.
Oh, yeah.
And people still deny it.
Why can't it happen? Like, we're talking about it.
Yeah, well, we're too late for climate change.
Fair.
We weren't on Al Gore's boat then.
Yeah.
We should have been on Al Gore's boat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're on Greta Thunberg's, though.
Fair. But what I'm saying is,
second one.
I think there's people who talk about it, and you'll always have people who are trying to be proactive. But I think as a whole, either the powers that be will prevent it from happening for whatever reason, because the fallout can produce maybe more money, I don't know, or more power being able to be acquired, because any type of weakness or vulnerabilities within a society is an opportunity for somebody to exploit it.
Weird.
So, I don't know. I feel you, though. I feel you, Danny. I feel you. I agree. I want to state that. I agree. I just,
Yeah. So that's the Boston Park the Car Molasses Flood.
The car. All right. So that was a good one. That was a weird and wild and WTF, because, I mean, people, drowning in molasses is really nuts.
Yeah, Arthur P. Gel. Who has no experience.
No technical experience. He's not gelling now.
No, he is not.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. All right. Well, any last words on this episode? Thank you so much, Danny, for bringing this story to light. But you guys have any last words about it?
Stay classy, Boston.
Stay classy.
I feel like
What
they
about
are
you,
classy.
Danny?
They got molasses and tea. So
Okay, fair enough.
what do we have? A mountain. Yeah.
You did have picks.
Yeah. I will say stay chronically curious.
That's what a great, note to leave on. And thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode. If you're curious, go to check us out at High History Hub. You can see kind of like where we found all of the information. You can check out the research that we did for this episode, and see if you can go down the rabbit hole. And feel free to jump into the comments and let us know anything extra that you know about the molasses flood, which was
Wild.
created by a man who absolutely didn't know what he was doing. Okay. And so that's the last time I'm going to say
But
that.
you got it done on time.
Okay. That's semantics, honestly.
Right. Exactly. And so thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you next time. Peace.